And welcome back. This morning we have with us the Pupil Mayoral candidate for Corozal, Mr. Rigo Vellos, as well as Councilor candidate Dr. Toni, let me pronounce it, Jimenez. Correct? Mm-hmm. And Mr. Hilberto Clarke, who's a councilor candidate. Welcome, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for being here.
Thank
Thank you for having us.
We do want to say at this time, of course, that we had extended an invitation to the United Democratic Party to also have their mayoral candidates participate in these introductory interviews. Unfortunately, they declined, but we are proceeding in being able to have our viewers in Corozal and across the country get to learn more about the candidates who hope to lead that particular municipality. So let's start off with just a general introduction in terms of your background as individual candidates.
Well, my name is Rigo Vellos. Of course, everybody knows me as this 5-time champion in bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. I studied in marketing and small business, at the University of Belize, and I have been working in my community long before even thinking about politics. So my name has also grew in Corozal town, Mm-hmm. And Corozal town is where my heart is. That's where I was born, in the Altamira areas. So that's basically Rigo Vellos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Toni Paharsingh, married Jimenez. I'm 37 years old. I'm a physician by profession. I studied at the University of Morelos in Mexico. And I grew up basically in politics. My mom's very active. We are always involved in community projects. So now I have the chance to do that at a bigger level. So here.
My name is Hilberto Clarke. I'm 38 years old. A business owner of Corozal town. I studied at Universidad Adventista de Costa Rica. And I have a broad knowledge in accounting as well as the business management, Mm-hmm. So, that's it.
Okay. So, Corozal town, I love that we get the opportunity to focus on different municipalities because each have their own unique opportunities and unique challenges. And I really want to ask, Rigo, you started off by saying that people know you in one particular realm, that's in your athletics. But what prompted you to put yourself forward as mayor, and what makes you think you have the qualities to be able to fulfill the duties?
Well, first of all, I must say that, like I said, everyone knows the name Rigo Vellos due to bodybuilding, but there's a lot more behind that name. Mm-hmm. I can clearly remember my younger days in Corozal town. I grew up in, like I said, in Altamira. Mm-hmm. But I was also one of those child who had to grow up under a single parent home. Mm-hmm. One of those child who had to go out in the evenings after school and sell Creole bread, sell coconut oil, to be able to help my grandmother who raised us at the moment, to survive. And I know what it is to work very hard. I know what it is to have discipline through my grandmother mm-hmm. and also through bodybuilding, right? I know what it is to make sure that I stay motivated because I had a lot of people back then when I was young motivating me, advising me. And again, I had a lot of people motivating me and advising me through bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. That's why I end up being the 5-time Mr. Belize, And I clearly and honestly believe that Rigo Vellos is the right guy who can represent the Corozaleños because I've been through so many things that my own people right now are going through. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. I know exactly what it is to appreciate things. I know exactly what it is that, when you work extremely hard, what the results can be. And I have a lot of people still advising me. And I have been working through my community for so long before politics. I established a way to hit the schools all over the country, giving motivational speeches. I have my own business, Spartan Fitness, where I see every single day young people walk through and leave. I hear them cries saying that they have there's no one who supports them, So I know what it is, what my people in Corozal, they need. I've been through it and I'm still hearing from it. I remember walking through some streets in Altamira 30 years ago. And I'm still seeing the same streets the same way it was 30 years ago. You know, I'm still seeing the child on the corner on the street asking you for $1 when you belong in school. You know, and these things has been happening for years and they're still happening. And that is exactly what Corozal needs, a leader, a true leader. You know, I see myself as the best leader in Corozal. And I know that I will do good as long as the people give me that support, as long as they honestly believe, you know, that they can go and mark an X on the PUP under Rigo, Vellos and the 6 candidates. You know, they have my trust and I trust that they will also do it.
Now, I want to talk to the other 2 councillor candidates as well with the very same question, because I think we all have that experience. You live in a particular area, there are things that you may like, there may be many things that you don't like, but not everybody takes the additional step to be able to venture into politics. And especially when you have your own professional career going as well, there are challenges or there are risks involved. So what made you 2 decide that this was the right time and the best opportunity for you?
The best time for changes right now, Corozal is going through a very difficult time. As I had mentioned, I grew up in politics. I managed to see the victories of the PUP, you know. In fact, I was that little 8-year-old girl that went to sing at Battlefield Park for one of the conventions in '89. So now I'm in a position that I can do something more. So now I grew up, I went to study. I came back and I expected Corozal to be growing more. That was not the case. I saw the line of poverty very high. You know, while I was living in Mexico for a while, I started comparing Mexico progress and Belize went behind. And I said, you know, I was always on the back line saying, if I was there, I would do this. Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? I'm like, it's better to be part of the solution than to start just pointing at the problem. And I sat down and I'm like, okay, I have my career to balance. To gain credibility as a doctor is very hard, it takes many years. So I said, am I willing to risk that? Because politics can be nasty. And then I also looked and, you know, I looked at my daughter, I have an 8-year-old daughter and have a 2-year-old son. I'm like, what would Corozal have to offer them in a couple of years? So I know it was something I really thought about, and I made a decision to run and venture into this and close my eyes and say, you know what, I will take the leap. Because as a woman, as a mother, I have to set the example for my daughter that a career, being a mom and everything is no excuse to just stay stagnant, that you can do something so much more. And if that opportunity comes along, to grasp it. And when Mr. Rigo Vellos approached me, that was my opportunity. And I see excellent leadership skills in him, and I'm proud to be running under his leadership. No?
Well, I have a lot of things to say of my motivation with regards to running. No? First of all, I come from an area that is very, very poverty-stricken, very marginalized in the town. I live on the main road going towards Santa Rita Road. No? And right at the back road of Santa Rita Road, you will never expect to see what you see, you know, when you go back there. You have extreme poverty back there, one lane after the main highway. And politicians in the past keep using the same system over and over. You go in there, you do whatever you have to do, you forget about them after you win. Now, that is one thing I want to change. You know, it is really, really dumbfounding to see people living in those conditions, and you are there, you want to cause change, you want to be the one that does something different. So basically that's what motivated me. You know, we cannot have in the 21st century in our small populated towns having children going to school without food. You can't have parents without work. We have to give them the opportunity in order for them to better themselves. You know, we have to trust in their human nature. We have to be more humane. So that is one of the reasons I decided to run, because I feel I can do a genuine change, no, and a 180 turn. No? We have to change the path. The current path we have been in for 12 years, So there is nothing they can come and promise the population. There is nothing else they can do in 3 years that they haven't done in 12 years. So just give us a chance.
Yeah, you said that nothing has been done in 12 years. The current current structure mayor is a 4-time mayor.
Right.
That's right.
And so there must have been something that went right for him. Could you talk to me? I want to stay on the positive track. What do you love most about Corozal? If I could start there.
Well, first of all, I am sure you have been to Corozal, no?
Love it.
What's the first thing you see, the first thing you feel entering Corozal town?
Wow.
It's always a
beautiful-
turn at the bay.
Right,
Yeah.
that breeze,
Yeah.
the smell of the bay, the sea, you know, that's our beauty, you know, and that even that beauty has been abandoned, right? We have our seawalls crumbling down at the moment. There is nothing to uplift that view that you see every time you drive or walk into Corozal or ride into Corozal. You know, that's our most special part of Corozal, apart from it's beautiful and humble people, you know, that beautiful bay that we have. And of course, we have our tourist destinations, because we have our Mayarins there. We have 2. We have Cerros and Santa Rita, right? We still have our different cultures in there, our food. So there's many things that I can say about Corozal that is very good, that I'm happy to be a Corozaleño.
You know, we had, unlike some of the other municipalities, down south you have Cacao Fest, Orange Walk you have Taco Fest, and Benke you have Benke Fiesta. There's something that allows us to have the space to go to that municipality. Is there anything in Corozal, any fest, any feast, any attraction that the municipality hosts? We
We used to have what we call the Corozal Corn Fest back in the days, a couple of years ago. That's something that the PUP had brought to Corozal. That's an idea from the PUP. And then after the town council change, it went dying until they stopped having it, right? And as a matter of fact, that's one of the issues we are having in Corozal, that we don't have any family events in Corozal, you know. So another reason why we're falling down when it comes to tourism, because there is nothing to market Corozal, right? Our own local tourism doesn't exist anymore in Corozal neither.
And, you know, I wanted to touch on that because I think, you know, being a border municipality comes with its own challenges, and I think we do have to identify that. And we have seen, and everybody who reflects on how much we've seen Chetumal Mall grow, we know that Belizeans have so much to contribute to that. And all of those people must pass through your municipality in that time. I have seen in the Riviera where some of the smaller towns are now becoming bigger tourist destinations. Tulum is huge, Mahawal is getting bigger, Bacalar is getting bigger. So the market seems to be going in the opposite direction. In your strategy, and I think it's important to be able to talk about how you have defined a plan to change what has existed. How do you plan to make Corozal more than just the town that you pass through on the way to Mexico?
Well, first of all, Corozal is not only the town, you know, the going that you need to pass before. It's the gates of Central America, first of all. The gates to Central America. Anyone thinking about going to Guatemala has to pass through that border. You know. No, the question is, what is there for them to even stop to take a look? Right? We do have a plan. First of all, we need to make sure that they work hand in hand together with whichever central government is, you know. We need to lobby with them to make sure that we have better access. You know, the tourists have better access. You know, those fees that they charge them, it's way too much right now. You know, all the paperwork that they have to go through to come into Corozal. So we need to make sure that we make it a bit easier for tourism. You know, then of course we have the attractions that we need in Corozal town to market Corozal. We have a plan that we will set a board or a committee to help us find ways to market Corozal outside also, right? And of course we will have different events, family events, that I am sure even the tourists will go and attend. We will make sure that you know, we develop a plan where we can beautify the bay, you know, make sure that we market our Mayoral wins, you know, so Corozal has a lot of potential, you know, and I am sure that, you know, after March 7th, this town council slate under the PUP will make sure that the economy grows back in Corozal through tourism.
Now, looking at the numbers, the area that you're running in, it overlaps significantly with Corozal Bay, and so you have a good idea of what your margin of work is. I think in the last election, the margin was maybe 100 and something votes, was very close. Yeah. Are those indications for you positive things in terms of the progress? Because there's some of what you're doing, which is a little bit more than Rigo Vellos, which is an issue with the PUP and UDP and what the people in Corozal think of what's going on. How much do you think of your campaign is about municipal issues as compared to national issues?
Well, all over the country we have problems with national issues, right? And I'm sure that the Corozalinos are very aware about the national issues too. But we also have the local issues, right? Which is very more important to the Corozalinos because it hit them every single day directly, right? So the people of Corozal are very aware, and we have a very good platform in Corozal, you know, when it comes to our campaigning, a change. After 12 years, we need a change, we want a change, and we hear it every single day on the streets that people are asking for a change, right? And not just a change, but a change that will make sure that Corozal are more prosperous. We need a Corozal town that its local economy has to grow. We need a slate that will ensure that happens. And this slate that we have under the PUP is a slate that will deliver that for Corozal.
Dr. was telling us that you actually recruited. That's interesting. So when you were putting your team together or looking to draft people, use a sports analogy, what strengths were you looking for, and are you satisfied with what potential you have to inflect change if you're elected?
Of course, I am more than satisfied. There is no doubt that I have the best team in Corozal, right?
You have to say that, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I have to say it, and I have to be honest also, right? It's about honesty also, right? So I do have the best slate in Corozal, and I'm sure that the people can see it. I'm sure the people are very aware of all the work we have put in from day one when we launch our campaigning. You know, we have had so many health fairs. We have a doctor here that, you know, headed 2 health fairs, one in Altamira and one in Corozal Bay. You know, we have helped so many people in Corozal. So people are very aware of our hard work. And people know that, you know, we have a heart. That's the main thing, that we have a heart, that we love our people.
But are they ready for the change? And I think that's what I hear. You know, obviously your optimism is expected because you have been reaching out to different families and you put yourself forward because you believe, you have the confidence in yourself and your team. Now, I want to find out what the people in Corozal are saying, because you are trying to break a cycle of 12 years, and that's no easy feat. And adding to the fact that people are very cognizant that the central government is a United Democratic Party administration, and people may have that as a part of their decision-making process. So what are you hearing? Let me hear from the councillor candidates first. When you go into homes.
Okay, we understand that that was one of the main concerns, no, of the voters visiting them. One of the questions were that, you know, what if you guys win? You'll be under UDP government. So that is why we started our projects, to prove to them you do not need to be under anybody to work. We started all our projects with $0. It was all community effort, it was all donations, and we were very successful. So we showed our first initiative that we are there to find solutions to their problems. When it comes to visiting the homes, it has been very different experience than it was a couple of years ago. Before, there was a lot of fanatism, no? Oh, you can't go to this house, it's red or blue. Right, no. People are eager to hear what solutions do you have. And the word you're hearing, we have hope that you guys come in and can fix this for us. We don't have jobs, our children out of school. We don't have lights for I don't know how much months. I don't know where the next meal is coming from. So when they hear the plans, 'cause we are not selling million-dollar dreams, we're selling plans that can work for us and for our town to prosper and to grow. And when they sit down and they listen to the sincerity of our plans and everything evolves around Corozal growing and benefiting, they see that hope in us. So even when we do our second round, the people become more receptive with us because we're not only going there and talking and begging for a vote, we are earning our vote by showing it through actions, through all our projects that we have been doing, including entrepreneur programs that we have also launched. So I feel Corozal is ready for the change, and they have a lot of hope in Rigo Vellos that he will come and take this Corozal out of the mess that it is in.
Mr. Clarke, you spoke earlier about, I believe it's Kennington Tongue, if my geographics is right, which is an impoverished area, which, just off the border of the road there. Crime, I'll tell you, for us in Belize City and nationally, we've been hearing a lot about crime in Corozal. Could you tell us what the council can do? It's not your mandate.
Yeah.
It's not your mandate. But surely going in, you're dealing with people. It must tug at your heart. What of the campaign, what are the plans in terms of what the council can do to assist to sort of deal with the issue of crime?
Okay, well, first of all, this is a set of people that like to think outside the box, no? So we won't be all about streets and garbage. We're going to do everything that is needed to be done in order for people to have better lives. The crime situation obviously is skyrocketed in Corozal, but that is part because of the unemployment that is there and the poverty. One of the most, we have discussed it already about that. We have plans set about that. So I'd just like to kind of touch.
Sure.
You know, one of the things that we plan to do is, one, work closely with the neighborhoods, because the contact with the people is very essential. The leaders need to keep in touch with their people, not every day, but, you know, periodically, constant. You have to have that constant flow of communication. The current leaders haven't been doing that. So we want to put that in there, reorganize ourselves and reorganize the community so they can feel they're part of the town council as well. We plan to work along with the police department. You know, probably we have this section of the police department that is the tourism, community policing as well, and the tourism police, no? So as we plan to facilitate funds to facilitate them, because sometimes you call the 911 and no one answers. So we want to reactivate that, have that line, you know, be there when you need it and functional. And as well, sometimes you call them and they don't have any gas in their vehicles. No, the government is really, really on a tightrope. No, so we plan to assist on that level too. No.
Mm-hmm. If I could add to the crime, no. Crime is always something very, very sad everywhere, no? And what crime has been really, really affecting us is through tourism. You know, Corozal is known to be one of those towns where you can go and actually retire. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the tourists, they look for towns like that. Mm-hmm. And if we're very aware also that tourism is what helps our economy grow very fast, right? And at the moment we're having a lot of tourists who go into town to retire, and now because of crime, they want to see their way out of Corozal, right? So other ideas that we also have as a slate is we will make sure that we help the police department set police booths strategically in different areas where we need it in Corozal. If I'm not mistaken, there's only one police booth in Corozal, apart from the main police station. You know, we need to make sure force the neighborhood watch, educate the people about neighborhood watch. Like Mr. Clarke said, make sure the 911 works also, because we do have a 911 right now in Corozal, but it doesn't work, right? So these are the things that we'll make sure we bring back to Corozal and enforce.
Could your opponents have sort of strategically changed the goalposts, because even though the previous mayor had 4 terms, it's not him running again.
No, it's not.
It's somebody new. So that person must get a clean slate and must be given the opportunity to be considered fresh, with fresh eyes.
It's a new person, I agree, under the same United Democratic Party, right? But he has also been working in a town council.
Oh.
He has been running the transport department.
Oh.
Transport department they have their own little issues also, and he has been part of that group of people that have Corozal in this mess also. And he has never stand and said, you know what, okay, stop. Don't do these things to my people. It's totally wrong. He has never told the current mayor or the current town council, you know what, please tighten up. We need to have more jobs for our young people. We need to do something for crime. He has never done that. So it's the same thing. Like I was saying, if you buy, if let's say right, you want to be somebody different. So you go and you buy a car out there, a new car. Does that change you?
No, it makes me move a lot faster.
This is not about moving fast. We're talking about people here.
Yeah.
True.
We're talking about kids, the future. So these are the things that we need to look at.
I want to take a moment because we're quickly running out of time. And for me, I think one of the things that people really need to be able to understand is what your plans are in being able to finance your work. We understand every municipality faces this challenge, no matter what particular administration is in power. And it has to be, in my mind, something that you enter having an idea, at least, as to how you're going to raise the capital you need to execute the projects that you want to do. What is your plan in being able to finance the work if you are elected as the next town council for Corozal?
First of all, let me say that we have requested a financial report. I have requested a financial report from the town council. It has never been given. I have also requested for them to show whatever documents they have on how Mr. Emer Hernandez got all those contracts in Corozal when we have local contractors in Corozal, right? But to answer your question, our finances will come through revenues, right? Corozal has so many revenues, so many ways in getting revenues. We have our trade license, now we have the transport department, the liquor license, the property taxes. So there is finance in Corozal. But what is missing is the main ingredient, the ideas on how to go about collecting those revenues. How good are you to be able to work hand in hand together with your community, the local business. When you have the local business and your community working together with you, you can do so many things. You can imagine the possibilities of everything. And that's exactly what we're going to do in Corozal. We're going to make sure that we work together with our community. We will make sure that we work together with the business community. As a matter of fact, the community and the business community have been working together with us. That's how we had so many things that we did. That's the way how we went along since July, making sure that we hit the grounds and we do those health fairs and we help different people. So embracing them is one of the main ingredients we have to make sure that we move forward and make sure that we make Corozal more prosperous.
I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you right. Are you saying that they're not published financial audits, so you don't know how the money has been spent in Corozal at all? This is what you guys are saying?
Right.
Exactly.
For 12 years, actually.
For 12 years?
For 12 years.
Not report. No report. We have requested it written.
No, there hasn't been any public meeting, to report to the people on what revenues we have, what we're spending on so these are the things that we need to look at. And if we go along and we make sure that we hit priorities the way how we spend in the town council, you're going to save a lot.
And what are your priorities? Most politicians have a 100-day marker by the time, if they're elected into office. So what would be your main priority if elected?
Jobs, our economy, crime, making sure that the local business go.
That sounds like your whole 3-year plan. There's no one definitive priority when you get into office.
Well, first of all, everything that's been said is very true, but one thing that I think he purposely chose not to say because I was going to say is fiscal discipline. Fiscal discipline.
Yeah.
And that's what this current council doesn't have. You know, you might not need the papers and the education like how they're saying to us, but in those cases you do need it because it's a job you're going to do.
And it's a business.
So you cannot take your lightest candidate or your weakest person and put them at the helm of something so big as the people's, you're going to affect people's lives. So one of the first things that we want to do when we reach in there is, one, we have to audit to see exactly what position they have left us in. No? Then, like the mayoral candidate said, we have enough revenues to keep that town bustling with activity, with economic activity. So it's all about fiscal discipline and managing your monies. You cannot be spending money you don't have. But with the money you have, you can stretch out and prioritize, you know, and you have to do it.
And adding to it now, we have a perfect example in Inert, Orange Walk. You know, we have a PUP town council under a UDP central government. And there is no way you can tell the mayor of Corozal that he hasn't been working in Orange Walk. So we have a perfect example to show the people in Corozal that it's possible, you know, as long as you have a mayor and a town council that is willing to work together with its community and the local business, you can move forward, you can make it more prosperous.
What makes our slate very different, and that's something we try to be proving from day one of campaigning, we're not going to sit there and wait for a solution to hit us in the face. We're going to go there and find it. They're campaigning, you meet people that are willing to invest in Corozal. They're just waiting for the right crowd to come along. And you know, we are out there to find solutions. If we need to get the job done, we will find a way to get it done. There are organizations out there. We just need to take the initiative and look for it. And that, like how Mr. Clarke said, they said paper education is not everything, but I beg to differ because it is. Town council is a business. It's a business, right now it's a bankrupt business in the whole. When you have a multi-million-dollar business, you're not going to put the least qualified person in there to go and save your business. You're going to put the person you trust that can get that afloat again. Especially if it's your dollar, it's your money in there. That's what people of Corozal fail to realize. Town council spent so much money got wasted, so much money got lost. No, it's your money that got robbed. It's your money that got lost. Especially right now, it's hard to earn that dollar. No? So we offer as a slate so much more. And I think of us as a very different slate than normal. We are all qualified in different areas, and we bring together a very strong team.
Yeah. Doctor, you, and maybe I can have the mayor candidate speak on that. You spoke about fanaticism in Corozal a bit earlier, which means that in Corozal, you're either red or you're blue. And when you're red, you're really red. And when you're blue, you're very blue. And what has been your approach in campaigning, and what would be your approach in governing to deal with this issue of this divide and to include everyone?
Well, you know, while campaigning, we have noticed that so many doors have been opening to us. You know, 10 years ago, if you were campaigning, you would find also some houses, they won't even bother even look through your direction. Now we have people opening doors, inviting you when you go on campaign. People actually sit with you, talk with you, tell you their concerns, invite you to eat. So, you know, that's positive signs. When it comes to after elections, let me say this. After March 7, the politics is done. When we get there, we're going to work. And we're going to work for every single Corozaleño. Corozal can only prosper if every single person unites and work as one Corozal town. And that is exactly what we need there.
All right. It's like, I'm sorry, something so simple, no? Like, many campaigners would see it as wasting of time. We go and we visit every single home. Doesn't matter if you vote, what color you vote for, it doesn't matter. Because you are Corozaleño, you pay taxes, and you're entitled to everything, no? We go to visit even the Jehovah's Witness. They don't vote. But for us, it is important. They pay their taxes. They have all rights to hear what we have to offer. No, and that's important. That goes to show that we are looking at this as one people, one Corozal. And if we don't change that mentality of red and blue, we will never progress. And that's one of the messages we have been bringing across when we campaign. We offer what we have as plans to help our people, not what the blue or the red has to offer. We as a slate, what we bring to the table.
You're looking at this thing as one Corozaleño, but Corozal has two sides too, because you're looking at, I think it's pulling around 45 or something, which is 41, which is the main area, and then you have the peripheral area. I think it's 40. What is that?
40 and 39.
39 and 40 are the town.
Okay.
41 is Altamira.
And Altamira is
On the
predominantly historically counted as a UDP stronghold. And if I'm right, the councillor candidate, the mayoral candidate
Is from there.
comes from that area. Do you have a specific strategy to deal with that area?
The mayoral candidate doesn't come from Altamira. The mayoral candidate comes from Rainbow Town.
The current
Right. The current mayor comes from
okay.
right. And let me say this. Altamira is painted to be UDP. That's how, because then the present mayor comes from
It's a
there.
very dark red though.
But I am sure that this coming elections is going to be totally different, because I come from Altamira,
Wow.
right? So I am bringing my
Battle of
Altamira.
Yeah, and the mayor and the current mayor has campaigned for us in Altamira due to his work. No, he has done nothing in Altamira, and he comes from there. So,
Right.
All right, we're completely out of time. So just final thoughts before we close off.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for allowing us here this morning. You know, I want to thank our viewers who are watching and listening what we're bringing to the table in Corozal. And I want to ask the people of Corozal to keep opening their doors to us. You know, and you can invite us. Remember, we're here to listen to your concern, to listen to your cries. You know, and we're here to find ways how we can find solutions together as one Corozal. You know, I ask you to give us the vote on March 7th, the vote of confidence. I guarantee you that the PUP has the best winning team, a team that will make sure Corozal move forward, a team that will make sure Corozal is more prosperous, a team that will bring and create as a town council small jobs for our young people, you know, a team that is all about having love for each Corozaleño, you know. And at the same time, I want to take the opportunity to inform the Corozaleños to look out for one of these. That's our manifesto, and we're gonna launch it on Friday, right? So look out for one of these manifestos. You know, this is your ideas. We have been campaigning since July, listening to your concerns, and in this concern, in this pamphlet, you're gonna find all your concerns and ideas. You know, this is what makes us the winning team. We sat down with you for so many minutes and make sure that we put it in here, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by representatives of the National AIDS Commission to talk about World Condom Day. So stay tuned.
Extreme. Yeah.
Vote Rigo, Vellos, and PUP for strong leadership. Cause the people say so.
PUP.
Vote Rigo, Vellos for the PUP. Cause the he going take care of all of we. PUP party to the full extreme. No matter what they try. Rigo for the PUP. Don't come to the election. It's coming down. PUP jamming still. They jamming still. Prosperity and integrity. PUP jamming still. They jamming.
Rigo we walk them. Roddy we walk them. Otto we walk them. Shamir we walk them. Dylan we walk them. Hilberto we walk them. Toni we walk them. PUP walk them. I tell you the UDP it's bad for we. Just to be last street. Them took 33 and the poor people money. That bad for we. Instead of Bill Street and roundabout to what about the economy?
Don't come to the election.